Today we are going to read about chapter 3 Algorithms and Flowchart part 2. In part 1 I have already explained about the algorithm. What algorithm? If you have not seen my part 1, you can see in the description I have given the link for the part 1 also, or you can go to my channel, YouTube channel, and you can see it. Now today we will read about what do you mean by flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but the diagrammatic representation of a algorithm. Algorithm, how we are writing algorithm? Algorithm we are writing step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, or a recipe wise we are writing, right? That way is the writing form of a algorithm. But when you want to make algorithm more attractive, more interesting, you can use the symbols also to write the algorithm. For while using the symbols for writing algorithm, we called as flowchart. That symbol representation or diagrammatic representation is called as flowchart. In flowchart, first of all, we read about symbol used. What are the symbols used on a flowchart? First symbol, first one. Which symbol we are read about? Start or stop. Both we are using in a flowchart. First of all, we will learn about these symbols. In this, we are using oval shaped symbols, circle or oval. Okay, circle or oval we can use in this topic, in this start or stop. And we all know that for algorithm also, for being a good algorithm, for having a good algorithm, you should have a start and end. And here represented as a stop. Okay, no problem. So in flowchart, we represent start and stop by using this symbol. What we call this one? Oval shape. Okay, oval rectangular shape like that. Circular rectangular shape. This is about start and stop. Start means from where your flowchart will start, step 1 example, and stop also where your flowchart will end, last step of your algorithm. Understood? First symbol, what is the first symbol used on flowchart? Start or stop. Second, what we are using is arrows. Arrows, what do you mean by arrows? Arrows we all knew about bow and arrow, Tir and Dhanush type, but this arrow is same but different one. Arrows represented by these symbols. In your book also it is given, you can see arrow indicates the flow of your algorithm, from which direction to which way, which is a step 1, which is a step 2, it will show you. Means if you have made one start, okay, means you have made one start. And from this start you will put one arrow in bottom, then you start your algorithm like this. These arrows are used for show the flow of your flowchart, means how your steps are flowing. From here to here, from here to here, like that, how they are flowing, this will shown by the arrows, right, left, up, down. Okay, understood how arrows are we are using? Arrow symbols are used like this. Third, now you can see processing. What? Processing. Which symbol it represent as a processing? What is a processing means? You have heard about CPU, Central Processing Unit. What is the processing means? Processing means what to do, how to do, and what symbol we are using, what we have to add or minus or do, what we have to do, we will use like that. In processing we are doing that. Processing we use rectangle. What? Rectangle we are using in a processing time. For processing, for showing a process, means which process you are using. Plus, add, area formula, circles, diameter formula, or circumference formula, like that. Which formula you are using, or which is a processing part. In full flow chart, which is a processing part you have to show, means you have to show in a rectangle box. For showing processing, you have to use rectangle. Understood? And next we have input or output. Input and output. See, input and output. For input and output, what you have to prepare? You have to prepare a parallelogram. What? Parallelogram. It looks like a little bit rectangle only, but it's have a little bit slight breadths. Length is parallel, they all are parallel to each other. Rectangle also they are parallel, but in this little bit bend. Okay, rectangle is little bit bend like that. It's known as parallelogram. We use parallelogram shape to represent the input or output. For input and output means how? See, one example only I have preparing start. For example, I have to input something, because for processing we need what? We need input. Input what? Input A, comma B. I have input A comma B. Then I will process it. Process means what I have to do with this A and B, I have to see. Then I use what box? Which box I have used? Rectangle. In I have written area is equal to A into B. Means what they have to do? They have to find the area of the box. Numbers what we have given. Any number we can give. That's why A we have written. After this, after finding the area, what it will do? It will do the output. For output also you have to use the same parallelogram box. Same parallelogram box for output. Output, what it will output you? Print area. What we have find here? Area, na? Area it will show you in the output. After doing the output finished, input also done, processing also done, output also done, means our work has finished. After completion of the work, what do you have to do? Last you have to do stop. After completion of the work, you have to stop the flowchart. This is an example of a flowchart. How we prepare a flowchart. Start is there, input is there, processing is there, output is there, stop is there. This is a normal way of writing, easiest and the normal way of writing a flowchart. After this, we will read about conditional box. What? Conditional box. What we will learn about? Conditional. Conditional is also one type of extra. This is a normal basic flowchart, means basic requirement of the flowchart. But if your problem or if your question is little bit complicated, in between yes or no or true or false, sometimes two answers are coming, na? True or false. If true, do this. If false, do that, like that. Okay, in that case you have to use the rhombus. This is known as rhombus shape, and this is also known as in flowchart conditional box. In this conditional box, we always have a two output. For example, one is for yes and one is for no. For example, in condition you have written A is greater than B. What? If A is greater than B, if this condition is true, then you will go for this way. If this condition is false, then you have to go for no way. Okay. Yes and no. There are two conditions given in a flowchart. How we will use this conditional box in your flowchart, I will explain later. For now, you just understood that this is used for only two ways. Means from a path, एक रास्ता है जहां से दो रास्ते बढ़ रहे हैं, उस टाइम आपको कंडीशनल बॉक्स का यूज करना पड़ेगा. You have to use a conditional box when you maybe get two answers, yes or no, true or false, like that. Understood? What is a conditional box required? After the conditional box, we have a connector. What? Connector in normal word also you can understand, a device or a thing which connect two parts. That is known as a connector. In same thing, flowchart, if you are using bigger flowchart, means lengthier one, not able to fit in a one single page, you have to write in the next page also, you have to draw the next page also, then you have to connect a connector. How? For example, when we are writing in a copy, what we are doing? When the answer is not completed in one page, we are writing in the bottom PTO. Please turn over. Please turn over means you have to ask a person to turn over the page. But in the flowchart, you can't write PTO. Okay, you have to write in a flowchart manner only. In flowchart, we are using symbols like this circle. In this first page, we write A, and the next page, when you are continuing the same answer in the next page, you have to write A/1. What? A/1. If, for example, this is a very lengthy flowchart, you want one more page, then you have to write A/2. Means you will show that this is the connector of this A. For example, when you have started a flowchart, here you have not stopped till now. Okay, here you have not stopped, but the page over, page finished, for example, then you can use this one, A. When you write A here, okay, when you write A here, for example, this is our next page. You write here A/1 circle, then you start from here. Means it is a continue part of that same answer. A/1, not what we have to stop it, finish. Our algorithm the flowchart has finished. Understood? How we use connector? For example, this is one page, this is another page. If it was not fitting here, we can write A. When we write A, then A1 means first page we are connected, A1, then stop. Understood how to use connectors? Connectors are used to connect two same flowchart when they are in the different pages. Next we will read about advantage of a flowchart and the disadvantage of a flowchart. Let's read about advantage of a flowchart. Here I have already written the advantages. First advantage, what is the first advantage of a flowchart? It is a communication. Communication, you know that it is a medium between two viewers. Means I want to say something and you want to hear something. It is very easy to communicate your ideas to your presenter. Means what you have to show to them, what you have to ask to them. Means very easy words we are writing this all flowchart. In the symbols also we are writing that this is the input, this is the processing. Here we start, here we stop. This is very easy to communicate your effective ideas to the viewers. Okay, that's why advantage of one is communication. Second, efficient coding. What? Efficient coding. We have not about till now the programming. Java or C++ two programmings are there. For the programming we need to learn codings. Program what we know as. For learning the programming you have to learn about the flowchart, because flowchart indirectly explain you about how to write a code to the computer. Efficient coding. Okay. Then 3 number, easy debugging. Easy debugging means finding out an error. It is very easy to find an error on a flowchart, because flowchart is a simple one. Only simple symbols we are using and writing only 1 or 2, 3 words like that. It is very easy to find the errors and debug it. Debug means rectify it. Okay, we can rectify the errors very easily on the flowchart. After that easy debugging, we have a proper documentation. When we are doing in a proper flowchart, it's like as a blueprint. Okay, it works as a blueprint and it's very neat and clean. That's why we have a proper documentation of a thing. What we are doing, what we have done, like that, we have a proper documentation of all the things by the help of flowchart. Now we'll read about disadvantage of a flowchart. Okay, disadvantage of a flowchart. Here you can see how many disadvantages are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not fair. Okay, na? Advantage only 4, but disadvantage are 5 are there. First disadvantage, what is complex when logic is complicated. When you have asked a complicated question, means complicated as per known as a tricky question like that. To prepare the flowchart of a complicated question, you have to use so many boxes, so many arrows, and complication will be there. So that time flowchart is little bit complex to understand. That time flowchart is little bit difficult to understand when the logic is complicated. When the logic is normal, we have to find the area like that, then it will be okay. But when you have to find the area, profit, loss, gain percent, like that, everything in one question only, then it will become complicated and your logic or your flowchart will become so complex that you will not able to understand at first or second or third time. Maybe you can understand at the fifth time. Then second, what the disadvantage is, it's time consuming. To draw all these things and write in a proper way, it is very time consuming. Okay, time consuming, you have understand. Then third, difficult to alter. Alter means changing. Means once you have drawn something like that, here 1, 2, like that you have drawn something, but when you have maybe you have come to know that this is a wrong thing, then you can't alter this one. You can't rub it or you can't change it. Therefore, you have to make one more new flowchart. Means this is one disadvantage, but difficult to alter. This is not able to change. Fourth one, special tools. To draw all these shapes, you have to use special tools. For example, rounder, scale, like that. So this is also one type of disadvantage. Then fifth, cannot function like an actual program. What? Cannot function like an actual program. This means, I have already explained the advantage that by the help of a flowchart you can learn the programming of C++ or Java, because in this what we are using, the same thing are used on the flowchart. That's why they have told cannot function like an actual program. This is the program, okay, this is also the same thing, but it cannot function like an actual program. Through this you can learn actual program, but it will not work like a actual program. Understood? These are the 5 disadvantages what we know. Okay, then what are the flowchart? Means to design a flowchart, what should be the guidelines? What should you know when you are starting to draw a flowchart. Let's discuss that. Let's discuss the guideline given by the book to you how to prepare a flowchart. First of all, first point what is given, there should be always a start and a stop. Okay, there should be always a start and a stop. Second, what is given from second what is given. Second what is given, that all the symbols or all the designs or shape should be accurate, so that it can be understand which was an input and which was a decision and which one is a processing box. Okay. Third one, what they are telling, flow line should be always showing the flow of the flow chart. For example, I have given the arrow like this. Okay. Why I am using arrow means it will show you the flow of the flow chart, how we are traveling through a flow chart. After completion of this fourth number, what they are saying, in process box, what is this? A process box. In process box, there should always one input and one output. No extra line. There should be no two input and there should be no two output. Okay, this is wrong. You can't use two lines in processing box. And fifth number, what they are telling, in conditional box or decisional box, there should be always one input. They can come inside only one, but they can go two lines, 1, 2, one for yes and second one for no. In this case only they are allowed to use two lines. Okay, then same, there should be a proper output, and at last you should use a proper stop button. Okay, to avoid all this thing, just if for example a big or a lengthy, complex or a complicated logic is there, you want to learn more pages, then you should use always a connector to show you the connection between two programs. So many examples are given in your book. You have to learn from you have to understand and read and practice from your book, and if you have any doubt you can message me. And after reading that one, write that minimum 4 to 5 examples in your computer copy. This much for today, students. I hope you have understood very well, and thank you for watching.